Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. You may now be seated.
Good morning, Wildcats. I hope you're all enjoying your Thursday so far.
As we're nearing the weekend, it's important that we address the changing global climate that has occurred this week.
Absolutely. As most of you know, on February 24th, Russia launched a full-scale invasion of Ukraine.
This attack has caused an uproar throughout nations across the globe and has left many people worried, confused, and afraid.
We'll be bringing you more information on the current state of the war in today's show.
I'm your anchor, Kaitlyn Saxton.
And I'm Malieya Pittman. Today's Thursday, March 3rd.
And you're watching Western TV. The SWE Club is having a meeting today at lunch in room 427. They'll be having a meeting with an engineer from NASA over Zoom. Wildcats Against Cancer is also having a meeting today in room 410. Anyone is welcome to stop by and see what the club is all about. With the recent attacks on Ukraine, much of the world has been called upon to protest and stand in solidarity with Ukraine. Switzerland, who has been known to stand militarily neutral, announced 3 days ago that it would be joining the European Union in imposing sanctions on Russia, breaking a 207-year neutrality. Haley brings us more.
On Thursday, February 24th, 2022, Russia launched an unprecedented military assault on Ukraine. In an effort to try to prevent Ukraine from joining the international military alliance NATO, Russia has attacked Ukraine with airstrikes, missiles, and troops, filtering the country from the north, south, and the east. According to the Ukrainian Health Ministry, at least 352 Ukrainians, including 16 children, have been killed as a result of attacks by Russia. The United Nations also report that more than 500,000 people have fled Ukraine, as people fear a new Cold War in Europe.
Their objective clearly, at least to me, seems to be the occupation of my entire country and the destruction of everything that I love.
People across the world, including the civilians in Russia, have turned to the streets to protest against the invasion. And while Putin claims to the Russian people that there is a broad support for the invasion of Ukraine, thousands of Russian civilians have begun to defy police to speak out against the violence. As former Prime Minister of Ukraine, Volodymyr Groysman put it, the ultimate line of defense is a strong togetherness, one where we are inclusive and not divided.
USA, support Ukraine!
For now, we stand in solidarity with Ukraine. Reporting for Western TV, this has been Haley Cho.
Народ Украины хочет мира. Власть Украины хочет мира. Хочет и делает. Делает все. Все, что может.
Thank you, Haley, for covering this story. As of 1 hour ago, the Ukraine State Emergency Service has said more than 2,000 civilians have died. The United Nations confirming about 530 casualties so far. The International Court has said that it believes that it has a reasonable basis that war crimes have been committed. Scaling it back to on-campus news, today is High School Senior Day during lunch and Period 7 in room 540. If you are considering attending College of the Canyons, representatives will be here to help you get started with your applications. Though there are many who stand in support of Ukraine and are supporting the resistance indirectly, many question as to why the United States and other countries have not physically joined the fight.
Russia has begun an invasion on Ukraine, and tension is on the rise. With the United States and its allies supporting Ukraine, some people question why the U.S. isn't sending troops to Ukraine for direct support. The answer is political warfare.
I believe we're avoiding escalating the conflict by having a direct attack on Russia because we don't want to instigate World War III. We don't want to instigate a nuclear retaliation.
Sending troops to assist Ukraine would create a shift in the status of the war from a regional conflict into a multinational conflict. And with access to nuclear weaponry on both sides, it could reach to a global scale. According to the national security writer Robert Burns, too little involvement in the current conflict can suggest little retaliation in the future to Russian moves on other European countries. However, most of the surrounding countries are part of NATO, which has security assurances from the US and the other alliance members. With this in mind, the United Nations has stated that they will be attempting to influence the success of Ukraine and defeat the Russians by providing other types of support. As time moves forward, one can only wonder how this conflict will resolve. From West Ranch TV, this has been Isaac Stewart reporting.
Thank you, Isaac, for keeping us up to date on the Russian-Ukraine crisis.
The fact that back in our sophomore year, we were getting days off every week for fires, and then COVID happened, and now Russia launching attacks on Ukraine after the Olympics. If this is a simulation, I think someone pressed the wrong button in 2020.
I'm not sure about the whole simulation theory, but we are definitely living through a major moment in history.
And as social media is one of the prime forms of communication, people around the world are watching what's happening in real time. Like last night, I was watching soldiers jump out of a plane and theories about the ghost of Kyiv on TikTok.
It's really interesting to see how the way we get information has changed. I was actually getting full live updates about the war on Twitter. Anyways, that's all we have for today's show. My name is Malieya Pittman.
And I'm Kaitlyn Saxton. Have a wonderful day, cats.